Okay, and I'm starting now, and I'm speaking to Chris Harrison, the host of The Bachelor, who's here in Toronto to announce The Bachelor Canada. Chris, what would you say would make an ideal Canadian Bachelor?
The guy who's going to run this show, and he really does. It's all about him, and it's all about his journey. He doesn't have to necessarily be rich, millionaire, whatever. What he has to be is very sincere. And I know that's kind of a Bachelor cliche, but he does. He really has to come into this with good intentions of finding love, hoping to find love. Not guaranteeing it, but hoping and wanting that in his life. And obviously he needs to be attractive. It's a visual medium. He's going to be on television, a good-looking guy, very secure in who he is. And that doesn't mean he needs to be old, young, whatever. He could be 21, he could be 35. It doesn't matter. What it matters is who he is. And he's very secure. He knows the kind of man he is. He knows the kind of life he wants to lead. And that's what he can offer. If you have someone who's kind of scatterbrained and not really sure, then things kind of fall off the rails. And so, you're not looking for a particular type. You're not looking for a hockey player. You're not looking for a doctor. You never know what you're going to run into. And I think you've seen that with our version, from Andrew Firestone, the winemaker, to Brad Womack, the bar owner, to Lieutenant Andy Baldwin from the Navy. You never know. It's like all walks of life, but they all kind of have that characteristic of being really good men.
Yeah, well, which would be important to the women who are coming on
exactly.
the show. And because Canada, we have so much ethnic diversity here in this country, and I have occasionally heard people say, well, The Bachelor, it's very white.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see that ethnic diversity on The Bachelor Canada?
No idea.
No idea.
And I have absolutely no say in that whatsoever. But, it's very important that you do have a dynamic cast. And, that's what's made our show very successful, is you have, small town Southern girl, you have big city New York girl, you have LA, you have everything in between. And it's how these people interact. And that makes a dynamic show. That makes the drama. That gives you so much. And, The Bachelor Canada is going to do the same thing. You're going to have 25 women from all across this country. And when they get together, you're going to, and they're all fighting for that one guy, you're going to have that drama, you'll have that dynamic. And you don't go out and try and cast the crazy girl or whatever. It's really just casting a bunch of sincere people, and then what happens within that atmosphere is what gives you a great show.
Yeah, I get that. But the interesting thing is that we haven't necessarily had a lot of lasting relationships out of the shows. I mean, I'm thinking Trista and Ryan and Jason and Molly, and from Bachelor Pad, I guess Kipton and
Tinley and Holly and Blake are getting married, and Ashley and JP are kind of headed down the aisle. But what's funny is, one thing I love about our show, and this is why the fans have stayed with us, is our show has never promised anything. And it's never, in life, in relationships, marriage, whatever, you're not promised anything. At the end of our show, Allie and Roberto are there, and they have found love, and now they go live their life. They moved to San Diego, and what happens to them over that 8-month period where they tried to make a life and it did not work? That had nothing to do with the show, but yet people are still compelled to follow them and follow that story, and are sad when they break up.
Yeah.
Just as we're happy when Jason and Molly got married. So I love, our show's never been predicated on the fact that there will be a successful couple at the end of this. I guarantee it. Any show that says that, you're going to see right through it. It's not real. It's fake, because we know in life people get dumped. People get hurt. Love hurts. Love sucks sometimes, but it's also the most beautiful of things, and that's why we all want it. And that's why we watch The Bachelors, because there is that hope that someday we're all going to find that. And that journey and watching that happen is what makes this such genius television.
Right. And for the people coming on the show, obviously they have to have that hope, or they're not coming anywhere near it.
Well, maybe not. But that, again, that's the beautiful thing about The Bachelor. And you're going to look, I'm telling you right now, in The Bachelor Canada, there will not be 25 sincere people. There will not be 25 people there just to find love. Now it's The Bachelor's job. Is this smoking hot woman standing in front of me in a bikini, is she a girl I really want to marry, or is she just using me because I'm famous or I'm rich or I'm whatever? I mean, now I'm on the show and she just wants to promote her own whatever. But that's something you have to ask yourself in real life. And again, that's something we relate to. Whether you're at church, a bar, the library, if you meet somebody, you have questions, and it's your job to get to the bottom of it. And you get to watch that play out. I mean, we're going through this right now on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Ben has some amazing women. And then there's Courtney,
Yes.
who is a model, who
Yeah.
he's falling for.
Yeah.
And is she there for the right reasons? Now it's his job to figure that out, and it's up to him. And whatever decision he makes, he has to live with it. We're going to watch it play out, but he's the guy that has to live with it.
Yeah, I get that. And what's your role in that, really? Or how do you look at it? Just sort of as a facilitator, as somebody you can bounce things off?
Yeah, and the Canadian Bachelor will have its own Canadian host. And my advice to him would be, you have to wear a lot of hats. You are all things to all people, but most importantly, you care. I care about the people on my show. I am emotionally vested in it. Yes, I don't take it serious. I know we're not saving the world. But at the same time, what Ben is doing is very serious, and it's important to him. And what these women are doing, most of them, is very important. And so I take their emotions serious, and I always handle it with care, and I realize what I'm dealing with. And that's people's hearts. And I know that's kind of cheesy, but that's a very delicate thing. And I've seen them broken, and I've seen them happy. And so I do my best to guide them through it as gently as I can. And I know they call me the Godfather or Papa Bear and all that. And I take that, as I'm old, but also that I take that with respect, and that I do love these people and I care for them. And if you cross me, they also know that I will be harsh with you and I will call you on the carpet. But the Canadian host will have to be a lot of things.
Yeah. And one final question: do you ever get tired of saying, Ben, ladies, this is the final rose tonight?
I've been coming to that party for 10 years now, 23 seasons of Bachelors and Bachelorettes, and as long as I keep getting called back, I am absolutely happy to deliver that line, no matter how crazy it makes our fans.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris.